Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Ridge and Brooke's private boat ride, dazzling fashion show. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for Tuesday, July 29th, state that Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan will enjoy a private boat excursion. There'll also be a beautiful fashion show, so let's speak about what's in store on Tuesday's thrilling B&B episode. Luisa Beccaria is a popular Italian designer who's teamed forces with Forrester Creations on a new fashion line. Of course, that means it's time for a fashion show that'll delight those in attendance and create some buzz for the company. The ceremony will take place in Capri on the La Canzone del Mir terrace, where Eric Forrester will deliver a speech and raise a glass as he addresses the crowd. Ridge and Brooke will take part in this group activity, but they'll also squeeze in a little alone time. Since Brooke and Ridge will take a private boat journey over to Capri before the fashion show, that'll give them an opportunity to bond and reminisce over earlier travels to Italy. Ridge may find it increasingly difficult to focus on his commitment to Taylor Hayes, especially since she's all the way back in Los Angeles. Brooke will reconnect with Ridge as they have some amazing moments together, so it's safe to say he'll be distracted from his engagement. Eric will continue to play Cupid and hope that Ridge will finally come to his senses about Brooke being his future. However, there'll be some roadblocks when it comes to Brooke and Ridge's reunion, like Nick Marone, since he's had huge plans of his own involving Brooke, a boat, and Capri. Brooke's on the cusp of being bored up with Ridge and directing her attention to Nick instead, so Ridge's jealous side will likely come out. Until then, viewers will see loads of fashion show fun and all the amazing designs that come with an event like this. It'll be a terrific way to kick off this Italy vacation and will set the tone for all the excitement to come. The bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest Brooke's emotions will be all over the place thanks to Ridge and Nick's behavior in the coming weeks. So stick with us for updates on any major romantic news. 4 things to know about B&B Italian episodes. What happens in Naples and Capri? The bold and the beautiful spoilers say that there are 4 things to know about the Italy location shoot episodes that are expected to air soon. Some terrific drama is on the horizon, so let's speak about what's occurring in Naples and Capri. 1. Air dates for special episodes disclosed. For begin, we should address the air dates for these special B&B programs. Fans can watch the action in Italy kickoff on Tuesday, July 29th. From there, fans will be treated to Italian twists and turns until Wednesday, August 6th. That's when it'll be time for Brooke Logan, Ridge Forrester, and Eric Forrester to head home, following all the location shoot fun. 2. Nick's dreamy boat proposal. Nick Marone will also be a key element of the storyline once the Forrester gang is in Italy. Although Ridge and Brooke will take a boat ride, Nick will convince Brooke into going on one with him as well. Of course, Nick would want to make sure his own boat ride with Brooke is larger and better. We'll see Nick enchant Brooke with a great supper and a proposal to remember, so he'll flash off a shiny engagement ring and ask her to marry him. 3. Fashion display with a stunning backdrop. As Ridge has frequently reminded out, this is ostensibly supposed to be a Forrester business trip. That's why B&B will commit some time to a big Forrester event, notably a fashion show that'll give these special episodes a highly glossy feel. Forrester Creations is preparing to introduce a new Capri collection, so viewers will witness some lovely models showing off the designs. Some Mediterranean Sea islands will be in the background while those models strut their stuff. This line will be part of a collaboration with a famous Italian designer named Luisa Beccaria, so it's wonderful to know Forrester fashion will still find a way to take center stage. 4. Disaster hits for Brooke as Ridge takes action. Toward the end of this voyage, disaster will strike for Brooke. There'll be an accident that compels Ridge to rush into action and changes his heart when it comes to his former flame. It appears like Ridge will go in after Brooke once she tumbles into the water, so he'll rescue her and acknowledge that she's his soulmate in the process. The bold and the beautiful spoilers indicate that'll be fantastic news for Brooke, but you can bet Taylor Hayes will be crushed when she hears updates on Ridge's flip-flopping. Is Ridge really that hated? Is this man truly so rooted in the past? That's what a lot of the bold and the beautiful viewers can't help but ponder when it comes to the one and only Ridge Forrester. Is Ridge really that hated? That's because he's the kind of man that loves to have his cake and eat it. You'd think that by now he would have learned to appreciate women just a little bit more, but that hasn't been the case at all. He keeps on playing with both Brooke and Taylor's hearts and emotions like it's one huge game for him. And very frankly, someone needs to tell him to stop immediately. The man has to grow up, right? Of course, B&B fans certainly did sound off on the topic on social media. Some even reacted with, "I don't hate Ridge. I am disgusted by his blowgut antics and psychotic inclinations. His mother should have kicked his ass as a child until he developed the utmost respect and admiration for the female race." What's next for Ridge Forrester? Another reviewer of the show stated, "I mean, I can't blame him if every time I take a step outside, I'm bombarded by who to be with. And my viewpoint is continually ignored. Forget Eric at this point, cause he is the pig-headed one that won't listen to whatever his son says." And then there was this comment as well. Ridge has basically told him to shut the fuck up. He's engaged to Taylor, and he says, "I know, but you belong with Brooke." The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Is Ridge really that hated? Ridge is in his 50s. I suppose he can make his own mind up. Brad Bell can't help himself. He's an idiot that can't help but repeat that boring old scenario over and over. Ridge and Brooke's private boat ride. Dazzling fashion show. 50,000 words of bold and the beautiful drama in Italy. The sun kissed the glittering blue waters of the Mediterranean as Ridge Forrester stood at the edge of the magnificent yacht, his gaze set on the shoreline of Capri. His breath seized in his throat, not from the beauty of the sea, but from the vision behind him. Brooke Logan came from below deck, the Italian wind dancing through her golden hair, her silk dress clinging to her figure as if it had been painted onto her by the gods of fashion themselves. It was the kind of moment Ridge would later call fate. Again, Brooke grinned, unaware, or perhaps completely aware, of the influence she held over him. "Capri suits you," Ridge muttered, reaching for her hand. "But then again, everywhere suits you." As their private boat glided softly toward the island, the history between them drifted into the open like the sea breeze. Decades of passion, betrayal, reunions, and heartache. They'd traveled to Italy under the pretense of business. But everyone, from Eric to Taylor to the international press, understood that wherever Ridge and Brooke went, love, or disaster, was bound to follow. The trip had been organized with precision by Forrester Creations, who worked with iconic Italian designer Luisa Beccaria to premiere the sparkling Capro line on the famed La Canzone del Mare patio. It was more than a show. It was a spectacle. It was a legacy. It was a trap. Because as the models rehearsed on marble runways and Eric toasted with sparkling Prosecco, the actual show was playing out in secluded alcoves, candlelit cottages, and most dangerously on the water. As the boat docked and Ridge assisted Brooke onto the jetty, the chemistry between them felt impossible to deny. Every shared glance, every touching hand, every memory, they all crashed with the sound of Italian waves and camera shutters in the distance. "Do you remember the first time we were in Italy?" Brooke asked, her eyes glistening. "Florence. You shocked me with the horse-drawn carriage. And then you surprised me," Ridge smirked, "by tearing your dress in front of the entire Forrester delegation." They laughed, and just like that, 20 years evaporated. But across the terrace, champagne glass in hand and bitterness in his eyes, Nick Marone watched. He had gone to Capri with a plan, a ring, a yacht of his own, and a heart that, despite everything, still belonged to Brooke Logan. The fashion show begins. As twilight fell, the terrace turned into an ethereal realm of lace and grace. Models flowed across the marble floor in flowing dresses, caressed by the ocean breeze. Luisa Beccaria herself beamed from the front row, alongside Eric Forrester, who was already organizing the press release. "Tonight," Eric stated, raising his glass, "we celebrate not just fashion, but the timeless beauty of collaboration, and the eternal spirit of romance that lives in every thread of a Forrester design. Applause followed, but Brooke and Ridge had slipped away again, unobserved. Or so they thought. Nick discovered them later, tucked away in a secluded bay, the boat tethered as music from the terrace floated across the sea. "Am I interrupting something?" he asked, his voice laced with sarcasm and longing. Brooke turned, shocked. Ridge rose, his jaw taut. "What are you doing here, Nick?" "Same thing you are," Nick responded easily, stepping forward. "Trying to reclaim something that never really left me." And with that, he went inside his coat pocket and produced the ring. Nick's proposal and Ridge's jealous rage. "You're kidding," Ridge hissed, standing in front of Brooke. "I'm dead serious," Nick remarked, locking eyes with Brooke. "This trip, this place, you." "Brooke, marry me." The quiet was overwhelming. The wind stilled. Brooke blinked, mouth parted, emotions warring inside her. "Nick, this isn't the time," she managed. "There's too much." "You can't be serious," Ridge interrupted. "You come here with me, and now you're entertaining proposals from him?" "I came here for the company, Ridge. Not to be your emotional yo-yo again." "You're not being fair." "No, you're not being fair." Brooke snapped, stepping away from both men. "You think you can show up, take me on a boat ride, and I'll forget you left me for Taylor again?" Nick stepped closer. "I never left you. My offer is real, Brooke. I'm not Ridge. I don't need to figure out who I love. I know. I always have." Ridge's eyes darkened. "You smug bastard." "Back off, Ridge. You had your chance. Multiple chances. Maybe she wants something real this time." Eric's interference and Taylor's discovery. Meanwhile, back at the patio, Eric Forrester was ecstatic. His matchmaking methods were finally bearing fruit. He had seen Ridge and Brooke's connection flare and was eager to salute to their reunion. But then the murmurs began. Nick proposed to Brooke. They were fighting on the boat. It wasn't long before Taylor Hayes, still in Los Angeles, received a call. From Donna. From RJ. From the fashion press. "Taylor, I'm sorry. But Ridge, he's not coming back. Brooke and Nick are in Capri. Ridge is spiraling." And just like that, Taylor's world crumbled again. Brooke overboard, Ridge's leap. The next day, the Forrester boat hosted a post-show brunch. Tension buzzed through the air as Ridge, Brooke, and Nick boarded in frigid stillness. Suddenly, when the boat shook abruptly with a shift of wind, a scream pierced the waves. "Brooke!" In a single second, she had slipped, whether pushed, fallen, or jumped, no one would ever know. But Ridge didn't hesitate. He rushed in after her, suit and all, plunging into the Mediterranean depths. Underwater, his arms found her, his lungs burned, and his heart burst apart. The rescue and the realization. They reappeared, gasping, clutching to each other as crew personnel dragged them aboard. Brooke wept, shivering in his arms. Ridge gripped her closer than he has in years. "I thought I lost you," he muttered. "You didn't," she cried. "But you almost did." Again. Later, as they wrapped in towels as the sun set behind them, Ridge gazed into her eyes and spoke the words Taylor had feared. "You're my soulmate, Logan. I've always known." Brooke's lip twitched. "Then prove it. Don't simply say it." He dropped to one knee, soaked and breathless. "Then marry me. Not later. Not someday. Now." Back in L.A., Taylor's exit, Steffi's fury. Taylor, crushed by the news, packed her bags. She couldn't handle another round of public humiliation. Steffy, enraged, confronted Eric on the phone. "You pushed him toward Brooke. You knew he was engaged to Mom." Eric, unrepentant, answered, "I pushed him toward truth. That's what love demands." The aftermath, Brooke's decision. Brooke stood between two rings. Nick's bright promise of a new life. Ridge's moist, salty pledge of eternal love. In the end, it wasn't about rings. It wasn't even about Italy. It was about legacy, history, truth. She took Ridge's hand. Yes. 1 month later, a Forrester wedding in Rome. The steps of a Roman church were flooded in white flowers as Brooke Logan Forrester again walked down the aisle to Ridge. Nick watched from the back. Taylor never came. Steffy declined to attend. But Eric grinned. And RJ cried. And the bells of Rome rang out for love, however faulty, forever returned. Bold and the beautiful Italian saga ends, or begins again, as the newlyweds kissed under the bright sky. Somewhere in a distant stretch of the Amalfi Coast, a woman with red nails closed a tabloid. She smiled, and then dialed. This is Sheila Carter. I'm coming to Italy. Tell Lee to prepare the lab. Because on the bold and the beautiful, love is never safe. Destiny is always interrupted, and not every boat trip leads to shore. Finn makes a baffling discovery while examining Liam, and Eric gives Nick a warning. Steffi tells Finn at the Cliff House that she will miss him when she and the kids are gone. He says that she is his everything. She says it again and they kiss. Steffi assures Finn that she wouldn't be leaving if Liam's surgery hadn't gone well. Finn confesses he still has a lot of questions. He states that Dr. Buckingham hasn't been getting back to him, and it seems like she's been avoiding him. Steffi's convinced he'll straighten things out by the time she gets back. They kiss once more. Steffi Finn kisses B&B. Can Bill forgive Liam? At Bill's residence, Liam's anxious to discover that his father paid $1 million for the experimental operation, even though there was no guarantee it will succeed. Bill doesn't care about money, he cares about Liam. Bill B&B. Bill says to Liam, I'm so proud of you as a man and a father. If he had fled this world, the best of him would have gone. He tears down the nicest things that happened to him, and that's exactly what he did when he came into his life instead of embracing who he was. It was a poor error. He laments the coat of armor he wears for protection. While it's made him successful in business, it's wrecked his personal life. When Liam called him out, he was spot on. He got defensive and said things Liam didn't deserve and that he didn't mean. Liam wells up as Bill urgently pleads for his forgiveness. He's so grateful he's here. If he'd lost him, he'd never have survived it. I love you, son. Liam loves him too. They embrace. Will Brooke make a play for Ridge? In the main Forrester office, Eric assures Ridge he'll continue to counsel him to get back together with Brooke until he understands he's right and cautions him about Nick. Eric Ridge B&B.